7th, which was largely based on eyewitness testimony, the Channel 12 report is notable because it is based on firsthand accounts of victims. You can yawn all you want. Firsthand testimony of such crimes has been rare because the victims have been killed.
First of all, this is the most insufferable. Okay. I'm literally the cracker control guy, right? Like, everybody knows that I'm not white people's biggest fan. Okay, why? Because 500 years of bullshit. You get what I'm saying? Like, the oppressed do not like their oppressors. But this is the most insufferable, absolutely god-awfully insufferable person to ever walk the earth. Like, just listen to this guy.
Killed, dipshit.
Okay, Ethan,
they fucking kill them.
The report. Like, why do people listen to this guy? He is this is his fucking voice. Look at him. This guy is a tweaker. He's on drugs. Yet people listen to this guy rant day after day after day after day. Like, why? Like, what exactly? This is exactly why I do not listen to white podcasters. I don't think he's ever been on. Like, what the fuck do I? You see all these fucking books? This is how I learn things. Okay? I learn things from books. I don't learn things from listening to people. Like, bruh.
Four individuals approached the welfare minister with their sorry.
And fucking poor ass Hassan, he's up there, he's yawning because he continuously subjects himself. I mean, I understand. Like, I understand, okay? Like, this is shit. Like, what? But in a way, I don't understand. Like, why would you dealt with this motherfucker for years upon years upon years, bro?
Who actually examine?
Couldn't be me. I'm too black. I'm sorry.
Sorry, talk about being gross. Listen to these victims.
When someone is murdered,
this is a severely mentally ill man that is self-medicating with illicit drugs. This dude is on fucking meth. Like, I knew this the first time I actually saw the guy. That's tweaking. He's a tweaker.
There's no way to do forensics evidence to actually
conclude the fucking answer to that.
Actually conclude
because
that person was sexually assaulted.
You know that the religious organization that is first responders that you cited has a policy of burying the bodies to avoid disgracing them.
Look at this fucking guy. Like, this is not a creditable human being. This is not a good person. Look at him, for fuck's sake.
You just said dozens of victims came.
Okay. I'm not trying to be too much of a prick here because the guy does have Tourette's. Like that. Yeah, those are tics that are caused by Tourette's. But this isn't all Tourette's. This guy has, he's got a drug problem. He needs to go to rehab. He needs to get from in front of the camera. He needs to put the mic away. And he needs to check in and get himself some serious help. Now, honestly, you know what? I don't give a fuck what happens to this dude. Like, he can keel over on stream for all I care. Like, I do not care about the welfare of my enemies. Just listening to this guy, he is my enemy. He is not a supporter of the revolutionary aspirations of the new African people. This is my enemy. So you know what? Take all the drugs, bro. Take them all. Die. I really don't care.
Came out in that article, and I don't know where that article is from.
All right, I'm trying not to crash out. I'm not doing this. I'm not listening to any more of this. Hassan, you're a better man than I am. So, let's start the Cracker Control panel with everybody's favorite George Zimmerman wannabe. Oh, yeah. If you know anything about Israel, Israel is like heavy in drugs. Like, they produce the majority of the world's MDMA, also known as ecstasy. But yeah, it's a big chance that the worm which ate RFK's brain also ate Ethan Klein's. Fucking JD pod. We spell America with 3 Ks. So, yeah, look. Bernie Sanders endorsed this guy. And this article was published in New York Magazine. So, here's the thing. I don't know why white progressives do not listen to black people. Like, y'all love our votes. Y'all love our energy. Y'all love to cite John Lewis and Martin Luther King and all our greats. But y'all do not fucking listen to us. Y'all don't. Black people have been warning you all about John Fetterman. We've been telling you all that he's a piece of shit for decades. This man chased a black jogger into a different municipality when he was lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania with a shotgun. This could have easily turned into a George Zimmerman situation. But he changed after the seizure. No, it wasn't a seizure, it was a stroke. Because of its notoriously bad health. Like, the guy eats fast food 3 times a day. So, yeah, if you eat like that, you're going to have a stroke. So, we've been telling y'all about this guy. All these progressives going bad. Like, black people are the canary in the coal mine. If you don't know where that term comes from, in coal mining back in the day, gases killed a lot of people. Because when you're fucking around underground, you hit the wrong vein or something, and you release chemicals and gases that can kill you. So they kept the canary in a cage. And the idea was that this would be an early warning system. So when the canary died, that means that you were finna die. So you might want to go. So that's basically black people's political role in this country. It's not like we are not the most politically mature people in this country. See, while white people were playing, while y'all were coddled and safe and benefiting from DEI just because of your whiteness, we were going through absolute hell in this country as black people, solely because we are black. Sorry, class reductionists. But our political maturity has been developed through 500 years of hard, vicious, brutal, and violent struggle. So when we tell you something, as a collective, as a community, you might want to listen to us because we know what the fuck we're talking about. We know what fascism looks like. We know what the Klan is about. We know when a politician is full of shit. But y'all don't listen. Y'all think y'all know everything. Honestly, I'm really starting to believe that we should just let y'all wallow and suffer in the messes that you create. Because y'all don't listen. Why keep wasting our breath? And I understand the impulse of a lot of aunties to just be like, you know what? Fuck these white folks. Let them do whatever. Let them suffer. We're going to take care of us now. Like, it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the fucking ass. Carrying this country, carrying the left, carrying the progressive movement on our backs. And all we get is scorn and hatred. Like, white people spent all fucking day yesterday crashing out on me. Of course, most of these people are left comms, and a lot of people are also rightists posing as left comms, but like just the most racist shit. Simply because I said that leftists should not be making the politically suicidal decision of attacking the masses' religion. So, as a consequence of that, and it is hilarious because so many of these people are posing as like friends of Palestine, yet given the reason, well, there really is no reason, but given the excuse of combating reactionary sentiment, the Islamophobia comes out. Note that the war cry of the Palestinian resistance is Allahu Akbar. It is not Workers of the World Unite or its Arabic translation. So, again, just from a politically aware, a politically smart perspective, it is stupid as fuck to be attacking religious beliefs that are held closely and cherished by billions of people around the world. What no experience of hardship does to a motherfucker. See, here's the thing with a lot of the white left. A lot of these people are severely mentally ill and unmedicated. That is not a value judgment. I'm not saying that these are like useless people. But a lot of these people, before they start talking about how they're going to remake the world, they need to get themselves together. And I think that's what spawns a lot of this unnecessary, stupid discussion. A lot of these people are verifiably schizophrenic. Like, do you have any idea how many times I've said something and some random white person who I've never met accuses me of something? Like, maybe they live in the same city as I do, but like they accuse me of all types of weird, strange, off-the-wall shit. That's Emmett Till stuff. And if you cannot engage in a political discussion without casting bullshit aspersions and saying fucked up shit about a person that you disagree with, then there's something wrong with you. You don't have any business in politics. But that's neither here nor there. Nobody came to hear me whine and rant and complain about the horrible treatment afforded me. I'm a black person in America. I should be used to it by now. So, Fetterman is fucked up. Like, really, really, really fucked up. His own chief of staff said such. So, this guy, his former chief of staff, Adam Gentleson, wrote a 1,600-word email saying that it literally just had the subject line, concerns, And it had a list of them, from the seemingly mundane, he eats fast food multiple times a day, to outright scary shit. We do not know if he is taking his meds, and his behavior frequently suggests he is not. Wow, that is very common. That sounds like maybe Fetterman is a secret leftist after all. We often see the kind of warning signs that we discussed, Gentleson wrote. Conspiratorial thinking, megalomania. For example, he claims to be the most knowledgeable source on Israel and Gaza around, but his sources are just what he reads in the news. He's still being an American politician. So, the Democrats are obviously, well, maybe not anymore, but they were seriously considering this guy for a 28 presidential run. Like, everybody knew it. Why? Because Democrats are idiots, and they believe that punching left is far more productive than actually trying to build a mass movement. Fetterman was, according to Gentleson, avoiding the regular checkups advised by his doctors. He was so preoccupied with the social media platform X, which he previously admitted had been a major accelerant of his depression. Okay, you are a publicly recognized figure. You are a United States senator. You're gonna catch shit. You're gonna catch shit from social media. Like, this guy literally was made by his doctors to hand over his social media passwords. That's how addicted this dude was to doom scrolling. I wouldn't pin this on neurodivergency. This is a privilege and ego issue. Many white leftists know what the right things to say and what the right lines should be, yet they want exemptions to avoid it. Again, yeah, they use their neurodivergency to avoid accountability and heap shit on people's heads. And again, it's not a judgment of neurodivergent people. Everybody in this country has some aspect of neurodivergence. Nobody in this country is 100% together. But if you lean on your mental illness, on your neurodivergency to avoid accountability, or, God forbid, be a racist piece of shit, then that's no good. That's not a good faith political actor. Okay, so this guy was also allowed to have a gun. He says he has a biometric safe. It takes all the necessary precautions. And living where he does, I understand the desire for personal protection, his chief of staff wrote, referring to Fetterman's rough and tumble town of Braddock, Pennsylvania, which I've never heard of. Another red flag. Every person who was supposed to help him stay on his recovery plan has been pushed out. Fetterman was isolated. He has damaged his political relationships, and he was getting rid of all his staff. Since winning election in 2022, he has lost his closest advisors, including 3 of his top spokespeople, his legislative director, and his chief of staff, Gentleson himself. His circle of trust has shrunk, and people I spoke with made it clear that they expect more staffers to depart. This man even treats his wife like shit. He gets into it later. So this guy, Adam Gentleson, he's been in Washington for a long time. He's worked for a liberal think tank and has written a book about the process of filibustering. He worked for the Democratic leader of the Senate, Harry KKK Reid, and he's a personal friend of the author. Former and current staffers paint a picture of an erratic senator who has become almost impossible to work for. That sounds like all senators, and whose mental health situation is more serious and complicated than previously reported. No one is saying every controversial position, for example, his respectful relationship with Trump, stems from his mental health. In that regard, he's just an asshole. But it's become harder for them to tell which ones you do. And Fetterman literally asked, why is this a story? Bro, because you're stone fucking nuts. You are objectively, harmfully, demonstrably fucking crazy. Like, if you were a musician, or if you were if you're an actor, you would be a candidate for conservatorship. They would Wendy Williams your ass. But because you are a United States senator, you are allowed to basically just shamble around Washington, bumping into people and getting in car wrecks. That's no good. You can't do that. He's also extremely paranoid. He started out by taking money from a super PAC associated with Sam Bankman-Fried, a crypto scammer, who was, if I recall correctly, just pardoned by Trump. So Fetterman was basically crashing out about this. He took money from these people, and he was worried that it would end his career. And this, like, okay, if you're a United States politician, you take money from everybody. You'll even take money from the fucking mob if they have a PAC. So at a retreat at the Library of Congress, he was sitting at a table by himself, slowly sipping a Coke and refusing to talk with anybody. He wasn't dipping into the bathroom to take lines of coke like everybody else. He wasn't drinking whiskey doubles like everybody else. So, yeah, the people he was going to be working with were like, yeah, there's something wrong with this guy. Later that day, another staffer heard an alarming report from a journalist. Fetterman had just walked obliviously into the road and was nearly struck by a car. Shame it was only nearly. An aide found Fetterman wandering on Capitol Hill a short time later. Okay, imagine you're a tourist in Washington, D.C. from Brazil. You're a tourist from Brazil wandering around in Washington, D.C., looking at all the pretty little white buildings. D.C. is a beautiful city. It has a major rat problem. I was there last year. Rats every fucking where. I thought I was going to have a nice little smoke at the park across the street from my hotel. I sat down on a bench. Like, what the fuck? At first, I thought it was just a homeless dude trying to sleep in the bush. I thought I was going to get up and give him a cigarette. Then I kept hearing. I'm like, yeah, these are fucking rats. So I smoked in front of the hotel, and I avoided every single park in Washington, D.C. But yeah, the East Coast in general, Philly, D.C., NYC, Baltimore, yeah, those are all rat cities. Chicago is a rat city too. St. Louis is as well. Anyways, so they found this guy wandering around Capitol Hill. Imagine you're a tourist from Brazil and you see this fucking 7-foot tall ogre in a hoodie and gym shorts with no shoes on just walking towards you, and then he just barrels you over. So the staffer came and got him and took him to the hospital. They thought that he had another stroke. Washington, D.C.'s indigenous name is Anaquashtank. It sounds kind of like Washington, D.C. I believe that was the province of the Potomac indigenous people. Rappahannock. All those East Coast names are derived from indigenous people. Rappahannock, Tappahannock, Potomac. Those are all Algonquin names, if I recall correctly. Anyways, he was severely dehydrated. At first, I thought he had another stroke, but no, he just ain't been drinking no water. I mean, Coke kind of does dehydrate you. I mean, to drink Coke, not the Coke. Fetterman also consulted with a psychiatrist, and he was prescribed medications for depression. Then he met with Sherrod Brown, another rightist asshole. And according to the people that were there, the guy, like Fetterman, was just catatonic. Catatonic means frozen, stiff. You're just sitting there like... That's catatonic. Like Drogo after he's fucked with by the witch in Game of Thrones. That's a catatonic state. So he was just sitting there, not saying shit, not talking to this guy who cared enough of a fuck, gave enough of a fuck to come try to, check on his fellow senator in the hospital. And he could barely string two sentences together. And he was whispering, talking so quietly that everybody in the room had to strain to hear them. He then stood up and began pacing around the office doing figure eights. At one point, one of his aides said he walked into the hallway peering over his shoulder as if he was being followed by shadowy figures. One of the blowback dudes is like shit posting about this. Noah Colwyn. This is real comedy. I like Noah. One of the co-hosts of the Blowback Pod, which I highly recommend. I want to die. I need to taste fresh air. I can't stand being in here anymore, man. Sometimes I dare dream about an air conditioning unit falling on my head. So my question was if you were related to the Geico caveman. Hi, Hamas. They don't tell you why the shadows are there. They follow you everywhere. It makes it impossible to live. Plus, everyone's mad at you all the time, wherever you or I go. Even Bibi Netanyahu would think he's nuts. So, he eventually ended up in a hospital. He was admitted to the hospital. His staff literally went behind his back and got in contact with the Senate physician. Is it true that they have a rehab, like, literally on Capitol Hill? I believe that's true. So, this dude was experiencing delusions. He thought if he signed himself into the hospital voluntarily, he was going to be arrested. He believed that members of his family were wearing wires to secretly record him. In one chaotic moment, Fetterman grew convinced that a political rally was being held in the hospital's lobby. Who the fuck holds rallies at a hospital lobby? John McCain? And that he needed to break out of his room to shamble down and attend the rally. I would say I feel sorry for this dude. Like, I've had family members who have had schizophrenia and all types of other stuff. My grandma literally suffers from dementia, okay? Like, mental health issues of that nature are not fun. They're horrible fucking things to have. But this is also one of the most powerful men in the fucking world, and he does not have any empathy. Like, this man literally wants to glass Gaza into oblivion, and I just find it very, very difficult to have personal sympathy for one who, for all intents and purposes, by every metric in the book, is an enemy of the people of the world, an enemy of the toiling, struggling masses of the world. Speaking of the toiling, struggling masses, Israel now apparently has the right to send out drones hundreds of miles away from its coastline to attack a flotilla with aid that is intended to help the starving Palestinian people in Gaza. So it's literally a wonder that nobody died last night. But yeah, this literally happened. I will show you. But I'm pretty sure everybody already heard of it. I like this guy. It's only one way to deal with the white man. You either pick up a gun or you stand between him and his money. Thank you, Terry Nelson. Indigenous comrades instinctively know how to deal with these people. So this is what happened. Again, this is the Freedom Flotilla. And this is the consequence of an Israeli drone attack. And yes, meantime, proletarians that are suffering from mental health issues are ignored and mistreated. So this was thousands of kilometers from occupied Palestine. This was literally out by Malta, the middle of the Mediterranean Ocean. And, what is it going to take? This stuff is, if this was an African country, there would already be bombs dropping. There would already be boots on the ground. But because it's Israel, they're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want. They're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want. They get away with all sorts. It's going to take, Israel needs to be militarily stopped. It's really that simple. Everything has been tried. Appealing to the ICC. Appealing to the UN. Nothing works. They have no respect for human dignity. They have no respect for human rights. They have no respect for anything. They do not care. This shows, once again, that they do not care. These people have murdered American citizens. These people have murdered other foreign nationals. They crushed Rachel Corrie to death with a bulldozer. These people have been these folks were literally civilians, to the extent that an Israeli can be a civilian. But you had literal fucking civilians laying out on the roads, stopping relief aid. Do you have any idea how fucked in the head you have to be to stop starving kids from getting bread, water, school supplies? It's just evil. These people have to be militarily stopped. Hold on 1 second. My dumbass brother. Anyways. If you don't have any siblings, you're missing out. Anyways. This is sad. This is how he treats his wife. His wife, for all intents and purposes, is, from what I've read, I don't know her or anything, but from what I've read, she seems to be a pretty decent person. He doesn't deserve her. So she's a political celebrity in her own right. She's a kind-hearted philanthropist. She owns a free store in Braddock that gives away goods and clothing. She's a formerly undocumented immigrant from Brazil and a vocal progressive. In early November, just weeks after the attack, the October 7th righteous jailbreak, Gazelle arrived at her husband's Senate office, and according to a staffer present, they got into a heated argument. His wife said that they're bombing refugee camps. How can you support this? This lady literally had tears in her fucking eyes. And Fetterman simply said, this is propaganda. That's all propaganda. That's what he had to say to his wife. Later, a still visibly upset Gazelle pulled the staffer aside. She asked him if members of Fetterman's team were pushing him to take these stances for political reasons. No, he takes all these stances because he actually believes them. Many of these staffers, many of these people that worked for him were somewhat more progressive than he was. And these people literally told his wife, like, do you have any idea how fucked you are as a politician? Like, you do not even inspire loyalty from your staff. Like, your staff are literally going behind your back, talking about you to your wife. They're literally going behind your back, talking about you to the press. They're going behind your back, talking about you to other senators. Like, you are a fuck up as a politician. Politician is supposed to inspire and promote loyalty in his staff by being a good fucking person, or at least being capable of acting like a good fucking person. It's also hilarious that Mitt Romney and a Democratic senator also tried to get the guy from, like, wearing shorts and hoodies to the Senate. Like, if Fetterman was black, this dude would have been kicked out of the Senate. Like, they literally would have got together and George Santos his ass. Speaking of George Santos, he was just sentenced to 7 years the other day. Anyways, so, yeah, if your staff are going behind your back and talking about you to your wife, you're fucked, bro. A few days later, Gazelle texted a different staffer. I am at breaking point and I can't co-sign this any longer. I'd love some help and language to separate myself from this. This is your fucking wife. This is your fucking wife. She's supposed to have your back, at least in public. And your politics are so fucked up that your wife can't even stand you. Your wife is texting your staff members, asking to help put out a statement, dissociating herself from you. Now the staff is talking to the fucking doctors, and then talking to his wife about what the doctor said. Like, this is a weird ass fucking relationship. Like, your wife doesn't come to your appointments with you? Your wife doesn't talk to your doctors? What type of bullshit is this? Like, it's obvious that she gives a fuck about this bald motherfucker. Well, I'm one to talk. But it's obvious that she gives a fuck. But I guess Fetterman is not allowing her to participate in any of the meetings with the doctors. That's fucking wild. It's fucking wild. This man objectively should not be in any position of power. Then he got in a car wreck. Like, this dude literally, he literally gets in the car, speeding. Like, this dude reads whole ass news articles. He FaceTimes, not looking at the road, and he loves to speed. He slammed into an old lady's car. Both cars were totaled. He gave his wife a pulmonary contusion, a bruise on her lung, and spinal fractures. He called from the side of the road, told a staffer he had fallen asleep at the wheel, and handed the phone to a police officer. He wasn't arrested, I don't think. Why? White privilege. Later that year, last year, the Sunrise Movement posted a video of Fetterman mocking and filming one of his constituents, a climate activist who was calmly trying to ask him about his stance on pipelines. Earlier this year, a passenger on a flight to Pittsburgh filmed the video of Fetterman getting into a fight with the pilot about wearing his seatbelt in a way that was visible to the crew. If you want to go to Pittsburgh, the pilot explains, you're going to have to follow our instructions or be put off the airplane. In March, Fetterman suddenly took an early morning trip to Hartford, Connecticut, without telling his team why, leaving them at a loss for what to tell Gazelle, when she demanded to know why he was missing one of his kids' birthdays. Fetterman objected to this characterization, saying that I took a weekend trip in March to visit my friend's gravesite from grad school who died in 1993. So bro. I can't. This is just pathetic and sad and stupid. You also had a black child that was called a slur and became rich. Like this lady literally walked up to a little black kid at the park, called him the N-word, and now she is raising money to defend her family. I'm just so fucking over these fucking people, man. Like I get we're supposed to have class solidarity, class unity, and all that, but many of these people are not working class. These people are not. These people, they're simply not like us. They're simply not like us. Like, look at this shit. How are we supposed to have unity with these people? What is the white left doing? These are your grandparents. These are your aunts, your uncles. Get your fucking family, man. Like, look at this shit. Yeah, this kid, he narrowly avoided death. He decided he wanted to date a white girl in Mississippi, of all places. And you should have ended this discussion right here. This girl told you that her parents literally despise black guys. My last black boyfriend, let's just say it didn't go well. They literally set him up to be put in jail for life. So why do you continue to engage? If you know your parents do not like black people, if you know that your parents will literally engage in illegal activity to send black people to prison for life, why do you continue to engage in this shit? Why do you continue to bring innocent black men into this shit? You know your parents are Klan members that hate us. Like, do you get off on Black Death or something? You're equally as responsible. You're not some warrior against racism because you continue to put black people in horrible situations. If you cared as much as you think you did, you would not be bringing him around your parents.
That would ban.
Let's see what the Democrats are up to. We're creeping ever steadily towards fascism. Let's see what Adam Schiff of the Democrats has to say.
Today I will be introducing the assault.
Okay, American politicians really need to learn how to dress. You all always have the same, okay, you're a Democrat. I'm going to wear the blue tie today. Like you have nothing but a closet full of blue ties. The same boring charcoal gray suit. Same white shirt. Like, bruh. American politicians are simply NPCs. You want to learn how to dress? Look at black politicians from back in the day. Look at Adam Clayton Powell.
Weapons.
Or better yet, look at black preachers. If there's one thing we know how to do, it's to dress our ass off when we're in positions of power. Y'all can take a lesson from us. Culturally appropriate something good for a change and make it your own.
Ban of 2025. A bill that would ban the sale, manufacture, import, and transfer of military-style assault weapons.
I'm like, if I hear this term one more time, I'm going to crash out. Military-style assault weapons. What does that mean? Like, tell us what that means. It's a buzzword. You don't know what it means because it means nothing. It's just scary to rile up your base. But here's the thing. Second Amendment trumps all. Americans highly value the Second Amendment. You are never going to ban guns. You are never going to ban assault weapons. You don't even know what an assault weapon is. You can kill somebody with the pen. I could kill somebody with this pink highlighter. Is this an assault weapon now? Are you going to ban highlighters?
Since 2006, there have been 486 mass shootings involving assault weapons. Hundreds and hundreds of Americans have been killed in these mass shootings. This bill is a way to attack that.
So instead of attacking shit, like instead of galvanizing people to actually organize against Trump, you continue to harp on the same old shit. You continue to harp on the same old shit. Like you all are basically NRA fundraisers. That's what you all are basically NRA fundraisers.
Threat to our safety and security. Dianne Feinstein introduced.
Today is International Harry Potter Day. I have never consumed a single item of Harry Potter media.
The first.
I have never consumed a single item of Harry Potter media. I have never seen a Harry Potter film. I have never read a Harry Potter book. I am proud of myself for that. I really am. Like when everybody was into that stuff, I wasn't. It just did not appeal to me.
Assault weapons ban 31 years ago after a school shooting in Stockton, California. For 10 years, that bill had a dramatic impact on mass shootings and mass casualties. But when that expired, mass fatalities and gun shootings went up by 236%.
That's because white people in this country are fucking nuts. It has nothing to do with the weapons. Switzerland, for God's sake, has pretty open gun laws. They have literal militias. There's no mass shootings over there. Let's see what this idiot is up to.
Speaking to Moran Gatz, who disproves something that I don't know about when the prosecutor.
I'm not a fan of Harry Potter, but do you like any fantasy? Yeah, I love George R.R. Martin. Like, everybody knows I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. Yeah, that's my shit. I got all the books right over here.
Do you think the Israeli Southern District prosecutor actually did not examine the testimony given by these victims?
If you don't know what happened in the four accusers, why are you speaking so confidently?
Because I'm speaking
because you're a liar.
About
you're a propagandist, and you.
So are you, bro. You're literally engaging in a hasbara right now, and you're accusing somebody else of being a propagandist. That's chutzpah, if I've ever seen any.
Fucking hate Israelis.
Like, literally, I've only listened to maybe about a minute and a half, 2 minutes of this stuff, but everything that this cokehead motherfucker is saying, it's just bullshit. Like, there's no factual anything. There's no, what are you saying? Like, you're literally just expecting people to trust you, even though you've demonstrated yourself being a bad actor. Yes, the Game of Thrones books are better than a TV show. Like, you just demonstrated that you're a bad actor and an outright bad person, yet you continue to act as if you are trustworthy. You do not convey a trustworthy image. You are not a trustworthy person. You act like a skeezy fucking cokehead because you are.
Can we move on, please? This is obviously at an impasse.
No.
Oh my God! I'm just trying to consider the audience. Everybody wants something else. I'm trying.
If you considered the audience, you wouldn't be talking.
You do. This is disgusting.
I'll be right back. I need to get something to drink. Oh my God, he's drinking a no sugar root beer. Look at that. These people are fucking pathetic. This dude is fucking pathetic. Everybody that listens to this dude is fucking pathetic, and he's the king of the pathetic motherfuckers. Like, what is the appeal? Why do people listen to this guy? He has a grating, annoying-ass voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, people don't listen to any fucking body.
Have claimed...
I will be right back.
...falsely that I do not recognize the testimony of a sexual assault that took place in captivity.
Yes.
That was false.
Yep,
do you admit that?
Yep, she lied. It was false, etc.
No. It's a falsehood that you claim that I don't recognize that. Do you admit that?
Yes, 100%. Can we move on?
Wait, so you're admitting that you falsely smeared me as someone who is denying a verifiable claim of rape from a firsthand account, and it's not from October 7th.
Okay, yes, I'm smearing you. Can we move on, please?
Okay.
Okay, very good.
All right.
Can you explain this tweet to me? This is your
Where did BRG go? BRG had to get orange juice. No, it's not a screwdriver. There's no vodka in it. I'm not that much of a degenerate.
tweet, and I'd like you to summarize it for me.
Although watching this moron, I think I would be forgiven if I were to add a third of vodka to it.
Here it is. You said,
Y'all don't want to see me drunk. I'm sorry.
go ahead. You can read it for me and explain the picture.
I can't. I don't know where it is.
So you can't see it?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this guy's just picking out irrelevant stuff, and Hassan is like actually dealing with this stuff in a factual matter, like actually talking about shit that matters. And this dude is just pulling up random dumb bullshit, memes and jokes. And this is not a serious actor. Like, this dude is not. Why do people listen to this guy? Why? How can Hassan do a show with this dumb motherfucker? See, I'm too black. I'm too black. Like, I cannot stand being in the same space for 30 seconds with this dude. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm too black. I have very limited patience with white folks as it is. Never mind working with these motherfuckers. Bro. Let's see. Man. Has anybody else seen Sinners? I saw it last weekend, but it took me like a week to process it. And I saw somebody say it's the most horrible movie ever. Like, are you blind, deaf, and dumb? They're going to be teaching classes on that shit. They're going to be teaching classes on that shit. Why? Because, like, it is sublime. There's no describing it. It is sublime. Like, it melds so many, it melds so many contradictions. So much of the black historical and cultural experience into one film. Like, there's no reason to say it's horrible. It is the perfect movie. Everybody that I've seen that is objective has said it is the perfect movie. All the IMAX screenings have been sold out because it is that fucking good. You know, when Ibrahim Traore first started during this thing, I was initially very critical of him. Like, it's basically a Maoist dictum that we don't like coups. Coups wash out the will and whims of the masses. We believe that mass organizing is the way to go. That's the only way it works. But just seeing Ibrahim Traore and how he works, how he moves, how his people love him, I fuck with him. Like, here's the thing. I'm not one of those Maoists that wants to fight to the last drop of African or Latin American blood. African people deserve to have food. They deserve to have electricity. They deserve to have resource sovereignty. And yeah, Traore works with and orients towards the Russians. Why does he do that? Because they're cutting him a better deal. Like, who exactly is the third world supposed to trade with? The People's Republic of Perfectistan? The anarchist commune of Utopia? Like, people have to work with what exists. And yeah, we could definitely maintain our critiques, but is anybody in Burkina Faso going to read these critiques? And none of us speak French. None of us speak Mosi, which is the major indigenous language in Burkina Faso. So who are these critiques even for? Our own intellectual masturbation? Do we actually think that we are going to convince the people in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso to rise up and overthrow Ibrahim Traore? All of these people that have opinions, none of them have ever said a mumbling word about Africa. None of them have ever said a mumbling word about what Langley and his clique are doing in Africa. But because a strong black person rises up and says, enough, this is our shit. Now, every Western leftist is an expert on the Sahel. So that's why, like, I've been laying off on the critiques because, one, nobody fucking reads them. Ibrahim Traore, if I write a long-ass polemic against why coups are bad, if I do that, who the fuck is going to read it? Who is it going to influence? Who are we writing critiques for? It's intellectual masturbation. These people are trying to get a nuclear power plant. These people are trying to build their fucking country up after decades upon decades of forced underdevelopment. I'm a Fed. Oh, lovely.
Is the poorest.
You are certainly entitled to your opinion. This is why the Western left is unserious. Oh, I disagree with you. You're a Fed. Okay.
Country. Niger is the poorest country.
You have no evidence of me being a Fed, but whatever floats your schizophrenic ass boat, bro.
We are ranked among the last. Very well. If we are as poor as they say, but when the time came to take responsibility, we asked these masters to leave. Why don't they want to leave?
Black Fed guard. That's a funny one. It'd be a lot funnier if you took your meds. Why are you inflicting your schizophrenic delusions on me? Somebody that you've never met is somehow a federal agent. Here's the thing. In common discourse, thinking that everybody you meet that you disagree with, or even people that don't exist as a federal agent, that's a sign of unmedicated schizophrenia. You need help.
When we take the case of Niger, for over 40 years, some countries have been exploiting uranium to produce energy for themselves. From Ottawa to Paris, the streets are lit up. That's the light. But in Niger, it's darkness that is served to us. When you go to our states, our lands are riddled with holes, everywhere in search of precious metals like gold, but often there isn't even the slightest accessible road to reach the areas where they exploit gold, let alone some basic social services. That's why we decided to revolt and take the destiny of our countries into our own hands. There are many other examples. But when we decided to do so, well, we were approached by some armchair slaves to deliver the message of their master, because they had created this kind of polymer chain that rises to the head of our states to serve them. And we came to break the chain. And it's inconceivable for them.
He always looks dripped out. It's that Sahel swag.
They approached us and asked us to fall in line.
Orange juice has too much fucking pulp.
To become part of the elite.
Tastes like I'm drinking pencil shavings.
That must lead Africa. Because they have a trained and conditioned elite that they must follow, who are embedded in that chain. We refused, Baofat, to fall in line with them. And from then on, hostilities began.
That is Ibrahim Traore. He is the leader of Burkina Faso, and he is widely revered in the Pan-African movement because he is a stalwart defender of African resource solidarity. The context behind what he's talking about, he's basically talking about how various reactionary elements and neocolonial slaves and mercenaries have been entering into his country trying to sabotage the alliance that has been forged between three countries in the Sahel, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Yeah, basically the same shit that got Thomas Sankara killed.
Infiltrated our areas with several mercenaries, trainers. Agents have descended into the Sahel, hoping to carry out barbaric, cowardly attacks against our populations, hoping to incite them to revolt. In addition to these on-the-ground attacks, communication attacks, manipulation, and disinformation are rampant in their ranks. But the people of the Sahel have understood, and never again will they be manipulated. They know where they come from, they know what they are doing, and they know where they are going. We will no longer allow this. People are awake and fighting today, not for ourselves, but for future generations.
I really haven't heard anything from Traore that I dislike. I really have not. Like, he's speaking of resource sovereignty. He's speaking about the importance of not allowing destabilization and distracting bullshit to wreck the process that's going on now. In a Maoist sense, has he waged a thorough revolution? No, but he's getting there. Here's the thing. People are not fighting for the ideas in your head. Why is there no Maoist movement in Africa? Well, for one, the Sino-Soviet split. A lot of the newly independent countries in Africa in the 60s and 70s, they oriented towards the Soviet Union for development aid. So the Chinese, they also helped quite a bit, especially with regard to Tanzania. Julius Nyerere was probably the most Maoist of the post-colonial African leaders, but a lot of those countries oriented towards the USSR, and they didn't click up with China because that would have caused problems, a lot of problems. The Black Panther Party, though, was actually a pretty stalwartly anti-revisionist party. They sided with the PRC in the struggle against the USSR. After the 30s and 40s, see, the CPUSA fucked up a lot of shit with black people. The whole Popular Front, communism is the new Americanism bullshit. Black people were feeling that. So black people played a major role in the formation of the anti-revisionist movement in this country. Harry Haywood, a former CPUSA cadre, actually guided a lot of the future new communist movement organizations. Of course, he eventually turned hardcore revisionist, but our elders can be forgiven their errors.
Thank you all for the fight that is being waged. This never makes us cry. We will not tremble. We will face it. We will fight for true independence, for our freedom. Because to scare the people of AS, these individuals only have 3 terms in their mouths: democracy, freedom, human rights. Of course, their local lackeys are only elected in a democratic, free, and transparent process, according to them, their values. What could be more normal? That they want to impose this on us, because they are the ones who set the rules.
This is what a lot of people understand, a lot of leftists in particular. They think that Western developed values are somehow universal. Like, everybody has the right to their own development process, as long as it's progressive. When you try to impose your values, your positions on other people through overtly military or covert undermining means, you're engaged in a form of imperialism. That is why a lot of Africa rejects a lot of this shit that comes out of the West.
Very well. We have decided to take responsibility for ourselves. That's why on July 26, 2023, when Niger decided to turn the page, the armchair slaves and their masters got on their high horses. They put their local lackeys forward and decided to wage a war against the Nigerian people. So we said, anyone.
There are settlers who will absolutely take your side in a revolution. Whoop-de-doo, good for them. There are very few, but they exist. Are you really going to refuse their support? If there's just a few of them, why should I care about their support? I care about the masses of black, indigenous, and Chicano and Puerto Rican people, bro. We are the majority of the world. White people are a minority of the world. They're not a minority in the United States, but they're getting there. Quit over-focusing on white people. Y'all really are not that important. It's like Mao said to Togliatti, the leader of the revisionist Italian Communist Party. Like, why do you think that Italians are so important? Like, we've got 700 million fucking people, bro. Y'all really are not that important. Fuck you and your little boot. Sicily can stay. Like, y'all really are not that important. Y'all are narcissists. Everything y'all talk about, what about white people? I ain't a revolution. What about white people? What about fuck y'all? If y'all want to get it together and join the revolution, cool. If you don't, then who cares? Y'all are not that important. Y'all are dying out.
who dares to attack Nigeria will face us because we will wage a relentless war to the last drop of blood against anyone who dares to attack our states. This statement...
like this, it continues to fucking kill me. Like, y'all are not Africa. It's going to have several billion people. China has 1/4 of the world's population. Latin America, all these places are not white. Well, Latin America has white people, but when you think Latin America, you know, they are white folks. Okay, the majority of the world's population is not white. Why should we why should we make special provisions for y'all? Y'all have fucked over and ruined the whole fucking world. Y'all have fucked over everybody that's available to be fucked over. The Maori, South Africans, Nigerians, Kenyans, Tanzania, Chinese, Vietnamese, Cambodians, Laotians, Indigenous Americans, African Americans, Jamaicans, Barbadians, Brazilians, Venezuelans, Cubans, Japanese, Indonesians, every fucking country in the world that's non-white has a white people horror story. And y'all really expect us to say, oh, we have to take care of the white people. We have to give them special room in the revolution. No. Earn your place in humanity. It's not going to be given to you. Y'all made the conscious decision to fuck over the whole world. And now y'all are pressed and crying about a little bitty minority that maybe or maybe not will want to be in the revolution. Who cares? Y'all are not that important. It's y'all's own ethno-narcissism that has convinced y'all that you all are more important than you are. Y'all are a tiny fraction, a tiny, tiny fraction of the world. We ain't thinking about you like that. I'm sorry.
This decision we made yesterday is relevant today and will be relevant tomorrow and forever. Thus, the AES was born on September 16th, 2023, within a framework of mutual defense. But we deemed it necessary to extend and expand the architecture of the AES. What brings us together today should allow us.
Why are you arguing with me? Why are you arguing? Who said anything about giving white people special? Why are you arguing with me? You're not going to make me agree with you. I do not like y'all. I do not care. Go talk to some of the MAGA people. Go talk to some of the Klan people. You want to avoid being put in a cracker pit during the revolution? Go convince some of your friends to not be so fascist. That's what you could do. Argue with me is not going to help. Argue with me is not going to help. You know what it's going to do? It's going to turn me even further into Jean-Jacques Dessalines. You ever heard of him? You should learn about who he is.
Us to venture into other areas.
Like, oh yeah, why are y'all coming to lecture black people? Like, you can actually teach us something that we haven't learned through 500 years of experience with y'all. It would be different if the stupid shit that you're actually saying had some basis in reality, but we have eyes, we have ears, we have mouths. We don't trust y'all's words because we see exactly what y'all are doing. A white lady called a little black kid the N-word at a park the other day. She's raised $200,000 for being a racist. That's what white people are. That's what we see. Save all that bullshit about solidarity with no foundation. Save all that shit for people that want to hear it. Save all that shit for people who are stupid. Okay? My political education did not come from Bernie Sanders. My political education came from Malcolm X. My political education came from W.E.B. Du Bois. My political education came from Assata Shakur. My political education came from Huey P. Newton, the Black Panther Party. My political education came from my grandmother, who was almost raped by a white man in Mississippi. One of my great-great-uncles was lynched, dragged behind a Model T Ford until his head came off. And here you are trying to tell me about how y'all are really good. Save that shit for somebody that wants to hear it.
beyond defense, notably finance and economy, infrastructure, health, education, and so on. I hope that these moments will be...
Why are they so scared of being a minority? Because they know that they think that they're going to be treated like shit. Like they think they're going to be treated like shit. Like maybe, I guess in their heart of hearts, they know that they're not going to act right. And they're going to bring shit down on themselves. They know that they're going to try to wreck the revolution. And they know that they're going to try to establish themselves as a special little caste as they have in South Africa. And they're going to end up getting put in the fucking pack. That's what's going to happen. And they're going to bring it on themselves. I won't lose a moment's sleep over it. That's what happens when you try to wreck the revolution. White people are the bourgeoisie in the party. Everybody knows this.
A story we write for the AES, but especially for Africa and the entire world.
I need to get some of these fits. The Progressive Plantation, definitely one of my favorites.
May God enlighten each and every one of us. May God inspire us in these tasks entrusted to us. And above all, when we carry out our work, let us keep one thing in mind: the supreme interest of our populations. With that, we pray once again to the good Lord to accompany us all.
This is a translator. It looks like they've dubbed his mouth with the voice. It's pretty cool.
In our various tasks.
I don't think he speaks English. Like, this is a translator.
To protect our fighters, who, thanks to them, allow us to sit here and discuss the future of our states. Once again, thank you, people of Niger.
That's good. Very good. It's amazing. Like, as long as I talk about commie shit, white people love me. But when I start talking about shit that's specific to black people, they think I'm fucking Black Hitler. It's wild. So this was the scene yesterday. Again, this is not anywhere near occupied Palestine. This is off the coast of Malta, a former British colony. Very beautiful island. But it's the Knights of St. John were also there. Knights Templar. But literally in the middle of the Mediterranean Ocean. The only people that responded, mind you, they were by Malta, but the only people who responded were the Cypriots. So, drone attack. This is the Freedom Flotilla Coalition. They try to go to Palestine all the time to try to alleviate some of the suffering and hell that has been visited upon them by Israel. And this is what happened. There was no reason for this. Why did this happen? Because the purpose of the Zionist government is to attempt to empty what little bit of land remains under Palestinian control. They want to liquidate them. They want to either destroy them through starvation and want to drive them out into refugee status, or they want to simply murder them all. That's why they're engaged in basically carpet bombing. Like, do you have any idea how much shit has been dropped on Gaza? How much shit has been dropped by Gaza? This is not the first time that Gaza has been bombed. Gaza gets bombed by the Zionists every few years. Like, they've basically ruined the soil. They fucked up so much shit that I think I saw a report that said that it would take 200 years to rebuild Gaza as to what it was before. Again, this shit has to be militarily stopped. But there's nobody on this planet with the balls to actually stop it besides Yemen and the Palestinian people themselves. That is sad. That is sad. They sent out a SOS distress signal, but no one has responded. Water was coming onto the ship. And when you put out an SOS distress signal, it doesn't matter like what. It doesn't matter who. You're supposed to come. You're supposed to come help. You're just outside of Maltese waters. Nobody came. No Italians, no Maltese, no nobody. Only the Cypriots. Can you imagine how harrowing and scary that is? These people are literal fucking saints. Knowingly sailing into this to help bring a little bit of food, a little bit of water, a little bit of relief. No, we're not going to nuke Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is on occupied Palestinian territory. How are we going to liberate the Palestinian people if we destroy their land? Do you know what nukes do? Are we going to destroy Palestine and then help hand it back to the Palestinians? That's not going to work. There's plenty of ways to remove it. The Rhodesians were not fought with nukes. The Portuguese in Angola and Guinea-Bissau were not fought with nuclear weapons. We cannot destroy the land to save the people. So these drones literally flew thousands of miles away from the territory that the regime that controls them occupies to attack a ship in international waters. Imagine if Libya under Gaddafi had done that. Imagine if Ibrahim Traore, who we have just seen, has done that. Imagine if South Africa did that. Imagine if Angola did that. Imagine if Mexico did that. Only Israel, only the United States, only the Europeans are allowed to carry out this bullshit. This is not just a war crime, this is a crime. That's why Ethan Klein is even more infuriating. He's so infuriating, not just because he's wrong, but because he knows he's wrong. Not Morocco, Malta. Morocco is just south of Spain. Like, how can you sit and lie and in your screechy ass voice, with your twitching and your tweaking, how can you sit as this happens and play in people's face? Like, these people are, it's very similar to when the Klan used to blow up our churches and attack nonviolent civil rights protesters and then blame us, blame black people. That's what this is. There's one thing about imperialists and reactionaries and racists is that they have gall. They will literally blame you as they are committing a crime against you. Only 14 nautical miles from Malta.
I'm here with Yaz. We were supposed to both be on the Freedom Flotilla Coalition, a direct action to Gaza, a peaceful, non-violent direct action sending humanitarian aid to those who are being deliberately starved. Direct action was being kept under wraps and media blackout for a reason due to Israeli sabotage and the risks that we face. And we have just been woken up in the middle of the night to news of our flotilla having been attacked.
Don't accuse Iran of doing nothing. Like, do you actually expect them to? You can only help people if you are not under, like, atrocious, horrible, brutal attack yourself. Like, Iran has been sanctioned. They've had Israeli attacks within their territory for their stand. Like, they are scared shitless of Iran. They're literally trying to cook up a war between the United States and Iran. That's what Israel does. If there's an enemy that it's too big to bite, that's too big for it to bite, then they try to, I don't know what they had. Mossad is very, very good objectively at what they do. Anyways, so I would not say that the Iranians are not doing anything. Like, again, we cannot criticize other people when we ourselves really haven't been doing all that much. Are we the ones that are sending missiles to the to Ansar Allah? No. Like, Iran has put in work. They put in work. They're part of the Axis of Resistance. They also supported Hezbollah. So, nah. I think we in the West should refrain from, again, fighting to the last drop of other people's blood. Because if we suffered a fraction of what the Iranian people have faced, we'd have all been had nervous breakdowns.
Attacked by drones. We have 30 humanitarians on board. There's a fire. There's water coming into the ship. We're all in a lot of shock right now. We need people to help us urgently to ensure that the humanitarians on board are rescued. They have sent an SOS out that has been ignored for.
Maybe you should tell the Iranian government. What the fuck are you telling me for? I have no say in the Iranians' affairs. Fuck are you telling me for? Go tell the Iranians that you think that they made a mistake.
Hours now. The only people who have responded so far is the south of Cyprus. Please get the word out there, share this content, and ensure that the humanitarians are returned home safely. They were attacked in international waters. This is yet another breach of international law.
It's a war crime.
This is a war crime.
They have attacked a vessel that carries peaceful activists who are on their way to break a total blockade, and a total blockade since 60 days. No water, no food, no humanitarian has reached the Palestinians in Gaza right now. This vessel has been attacked in international waters, 13 miles away from the Maltese shore. This is a war crime, either by Israel or by one of its allies. But it is one thing is very clear. They do not want to help the Palestinians. They want to starve the Palestinians. We're talking about 2 million people, which of half are children. They're being starved. And as we're talking to you here, all of those countries that are complicit, they know about this, and they are in on this attack. We have to rise up. It is now or never. We should not be scared of our governments. We should not be scared of the repressions. When 2 million people are being starved, when 2 million people are being attacked for almost 2 years for us all to see, live stream day for day, we cannot stop. You're seeing people here. All of us are here in Malta. For days, we've been working day and night to make this happen. Every time we are faced with attacks. Last year, it was a bureaucratic warfare against us. This year, it is an attack, a drone attack with 30 people on the ship. How can this happen? How can the world look away? How can our governments not do anything about this? These are war crimes, not just against the Palestinians, but also the international community who are trying to help the Palestinians in Gaza, because our governments are not doing what they're supposed to do, so we are trying to do what they are supposed to do.
They're fucking saints. These people need to be militarily stopped. Like, of course our governments are not doing what they're supposed to do. If our governments were doing what they were supposed to do, we would have been fucking marched. Like, Tel Aviv would be Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv would have gone back to Jaffa. ICE invades wrong homes, steals their life savings, and then leaves. That's because they're bandits. That's what bandits do. Let's see if I can torture myself with some more of this shit.
Yes. Okay.
Fantastic.
Dumb. Okay, you always say that whenever you, first of all, let me give you a stat. You've watched 11 hate videos about me since this has started. Do you know how many I've watched about you on stream?
Your whole stream is a hate video.
Zero. I have had zero people hold my hand through some obscene hate videos. You've watched 11 of them. Now let me ask you this. Whenever I make a response to these videos, for example, the content cop, you say you don't have time because you need to get to the news, which is something important. Then how the fuck do you have 19 hours straight, uninterrupted, to watch 11 hate videos, but you're not willing to show my response? Don't you think that's a bit cowardly?
No, I don't.
Wow.
Because what's cowardly is ducking me for the past...
Ducking my points?
How?
What about all the other... Did you... So again,
yeah. By side with...
Because you're a chronic liar.
Well,
I went back...
Is this a debate, or is this just... This is just Ethan yelling at his former co-worker and yapping and not knowing what the fuck he's talking about. Like, why does this guy have a platform? Like, he has nothing of value to say. He has nothing of intelligence to say. Like, I guess America is fucked because people learn from motherfuckers like this guy. What does this guy have to teach? He has no credentials whatsoever. Bro. People like this become famous while Mumia Abu-Jamal sits in fucking prison. People like this become famous while Fred Hampton rots in the ground. Like, there is no justice in this world. There is no justice in this world unless we make it. That's the truth. Of course, this asshole, Ethan, is obviously astroturfed. Like, all of these people that have these shitty-ass little views, they're astroturfed. These are not organic people. If he had to develop his base organically, nobody would listen to this guy. Okay? This dude is famous because he was put in front of you. This dude is famous because somebody with a lot of money wanted him to be that way. That's simply how it is. Like, you could be a nobody, but if you have the correct political beliefs that somebody with money and power thinks should be spread, they will make somebody out of you. That's how this shit works. That's why, like, I really make it a point to highlight black content creators and black organizers. That's why I interview community movement builders, because these white folks ain't gonna teach you about community movement builders. They ain't gonna teach you about the Huey P. Newton Gun Club. They're not gonna teach you about the Black Women's Defense League. Why would they do that? They're going to promote Ethan Klein because Ethan Klein's slop is what they want you believing. So if we are going to liberate ourselves, we cannot rely on the white people. We cannot rely on capital to educate us. You're not going to tear down the enemy with the enemy's tools. And you are not going to use the enemy's money to beat him because the enemy ain't going to give you no money. They ain't smart. Well, they ain't dumb. And if you think that, you ain't smart. Yeah. Fuck this dude.
Well, maybe I wasn't afraid of the context nuke.
Shit.
Okay.
I went.
You assume, even if they got some.
Fuck is it? These people are just asinine. It's just fucking asinine. This is like, you literally got people dying in horrible ways. Horrible fucking ways. Yesterday was May Day, and it's a holiday in France. Yesterday was May Day. And today we get treated to Ethan Klein crashing out. Like I said, I couldn't do it. I cannot do it. Going to DSA meetings is enough white folks for me. I don't need to be exposed to them in my spare time as well. This is how you de-arrest a person, by the way. Not screaming and hollering and recording and shouting, "Let them go! Let them go!" This is how you de-arrest somebody. Get a mob together and liberate them from the police. That is a de-arrest. Standing around hollering, "Let them go," is not a de-arrest. Many of our allies and friends are celebrating May 8th as Victory Day. May 8th is VE Day, Victory in Europe. The Soviets won the war in Europe. Do you have any idea how many people how many people they lost in single battles? America only lost around 500,000 people in World War II. outside of Pearl Harbor, we were never like directly attacked. We did put in work in the Pacific, but the Chinese ate most of the casualties out there. Iwo Jima, Okinawa, those were brutal, brutal fucking battles. And the only way that casualty gap would have narrowed is if we had actually had to invade the Japanese home islands. Operation Downfall, it would have definitely been successful, but it would have been a relentless, horrible, brutal fucking slaughter. But that didn't happen because we cheated and used atomic bombs. World War I, we entered a year before the war was over. I guess it could be argued that we maybe kind of turned the tide, but yeah. So, honestly, it would make a lot more sense for us to celebrate VJ Day. But Trump is dumb. Plus, Trump is a fucking draft dodger. All the shit he talks about war. And he's never fought in one. He got out of Vietnam by saying he had bone spurs. Every time I see this video, I gotta watch it. It is possible to kettle cops.
A lot more commotion now within the confines of the encampment as LAPD is now retreating. LAPD is now retreating from the encampment. They're retreating from the encampment.
It's shit like this that stops me from being a nihilist for real. Like, you all do not want to see Afro-pessimist Red Guard. You all do not want to see nihilist Red Guard. Don't make me Afro-pessimist Red Guard. Don't make me nihilist Red Guard. It's shit like this that stops me from being that way.
Encounters with protesters. LAPD now scuffling with these protesters, the supporters who have shown up on that staircase. They are now fist to fist with some of these protesters as they try and make their way down the staircase. LAPD is retreating from the encampment as the crowd has converged on at least 3 dozen officers who were apparently holding that skirmish line. That skirmish line is not holding, and those officers now retreating as they are being pushed out completely out of the encampment by no less than a couple hundred protesters on the encampment, within the encampment, within the confines of that plywood wall. Most of them letting them go now. Officers just making their way to safety.
The way safety. Cops don't deserve safety.
A lot more commotion now within the confines of the encampment as LAPD is now retreating. LAPD is now retreating from the encampment. They're retreating from the encampment. There are encounters with protesters. LAPD now scuffling with these protesters, the supporters who have shown up on that staircase. They are now fist to fist with some of these protesters as they try and make their way down the staircase. LAPD is retreating from the encampment as the crowd has...
It's always good that you take their tactics and turn them against them. A lot of people don't know how to do that, but you can only learn through struggle. I don't know what the fuck that Irish vampire did. The Irish vampire has a name. I don't know what he did to have those Choctaw chasing him around with guns in Mississippi in 1932, but it was something pretty shitty. That they literally had the dude out there burning up like an Israeli. Help, help, let me in, help, they're after me. And the thing about vampires is that they're extremely manipulative. So like people were, spoiler alert, yes, but people were like pissed at Grace, the Chinese store owner, for basically inviting the vampires in. And I'm like, they fucked with her. Like, the vampires are extremely manipulative. He tried to get to her by speaking Chinese, Cantonese. Like when the Irish dude with Remick, when he turned people, he got access to their memories. That's how he knew that Grace and Bo had a daughter. So he figured, I'm going to get let in. These black people are not going to let me in, but I can get to the lady that has a kid that she left back in town, but making a credible threat of going after her daughter and turning her into a vampire. So I'm going to do that. Since I have access to her husband's memories, I'm going to do that. And she's going to crash out and she's going to invite me in. That's how vampires think. They're extremely manipulative. Can anyone tell me what drugs you were on if you think socialism can win in the United States, a nation of 300 million Hitlers? Well, to be fair, some are Hitlers, yes. Some are also Mussolini. Some are Franco. Some are Antonio Salazar. Some are homegrown American fascism. Like, here's the thing. America has its own fascism. You do not have to make you do not have to always make the Hitler, Mussolini, whatever comparison. Quit looking for an American Hitler. America was fascist long before Hitler. Hitler can directly be traced back to the United States. I do in real life union organizing and trying to get people to help themselves if they might help someone they think is lazy is next to impossible. This is an utterly cursed land full of stupid, insane, and mostly evil people. Honestly, I agree with all of that. America is an utterly cursed land full of stupid, insane, and mostly evil people. But we have to fight anyways. That's what communists do. It doesn't matter if the whole world is against us. We have a job to do. It's not an easy job. If we wanted an easy job, we would just go be Democrats and liberals. Saddam was really like, paint me one of your Babylonian girls. Some of this shit is pretty dope. But some of it's also weird. You can have a little LARPing as a treat.
The president signed an executive order.
Let's see what this fella's talking about.
So, the president signed an executive order just this week threatening to defund sanctuary cities for their policies. Why not just arrest the leaders who are harboring and shielding illegal aliens, actually terrorists, from deportation?
Wait to see what's coming.
He said, wait to see what's coming. You're moving to the Scots-Irish part of Appalachia. Where is that? Of course, he has a thin blue line lapel flag. What is the Scots-Irish part of Appalachia? The only place in America with organizing potential. I thought all of Appalachia, all of the white people in Appalachia were mostly of Scotch-Irish extraction.
Son of
I like this guy. This is Gaddafi's former spokesperson.
Africa, Muammar Gaddafi. Today, I speak up, albeit not officially, for another son of Africa, Ibrahim Traore. They came for Gaddafi and killed him. They killed Sankara before that, Lumumba. They went after Samora Machel and many, many others of our revolutionary sons. We must not allow them to come after our son and brother, Ibrahim Traore. He is leading a genuine African revolutionary liberation project.
I mean, honestly, like, if this is what Africans are saying about him, if the only people that are criticizing Ibrahim Traore are sellouts and people that ride the West dick, then he must be a pretty cool guy. You know a man by his enemies. And Ibrahim Traore has all the right enemies. This guy literally worked for Gaddafi. I'm not Gaddafi's biggest fan, but that he should not have been sodomized with the bayonet at the behest of the U.S. and NATO. Super racist Appalachia. I mean, I hate phones. Anyways, that's what white people should organize. Like Kwame Ture literally said that white people need to stop coming into our neighborhoods trying to organize. We know how to organize ourselves. The indigenous comrades on the reservation know how to organize themselves. I don't go into, I have no business on a reservation trying to organize indigenous people because I am not indigenous. I have no business going into a trailer park trying to organize white people because I am not white, nor am I from a trailer park. So that is definitely the type of organizing that white comrades need to be doing. Go into the trailer park, go into the Scotch-Irish part of Appalachia, dance your little jig, and teach them about communism. That's work that y'all can do, not by lecturing me. Bob Avakian, I'm pretty sure that dude is dead and just playing weekend at Bobby's with his body.
He wants to have control for all Africans over our natural resources. He wants Africans to be united, to have African sovereignty, not just political or military, but African economic sovereignty. They come after him not because of democracy or human rights or stability, but to destroy his liberation project. Exactly what they did with Gaddafi. exactly what they did with Sankara, what they did with Samora Machel, what they did with Nkrumah of Ghana, and many, many other sons of Africa. Today, we must stand up. We must fight. Come with us to support the revolution in the Sahel region of our continent. Come to say no to imperialist forces of the West that keeps trying to maintain its hegemony and control over our continent. We must stand together.
Those are the Frey words. And he doesn't look much like a Frey to me.
Ibrahim Traore is getting wrong. Here is one thing Captain Ibrahim Traore is getting wrong. The media. So far, I haven't seen any genuine, widespreading effort by the revolution of Burkina Faso in terms of reaching out to us Africans and the world to explain their story, to tell it as it is, using the media, whether it's traditional, digital, or social media. And this is a fatal mistake, let me tell you. The West, hegemony, they falsify reality. They will accuse our leaders and our revolutionaries of being dictators, murderers, rapists. And then they will use this ugly picture to launch an attack supported by the UN, by the Security Council, by their puppet regimes in Africa to finish the revolution. My brother, Captain Ibrahim Traore, you and your comrades, not just in Burkina Faso, but in the Sahel region, reach out to all of us, all over Africa. Let's build an African revolutionary media project together. Let's
Sahel states' rural land use policies are alienating portions of the masses in the Sahel, allowing for gains, rapid growth for jihadi groups is the relevant problem. That's an internal contradiction, yeah. I mean, those places have been plagued with ISIS splinter groups for years, and the West, of course, didn't do shit about them because the West profits from chaos and stability, as this dude keeps saying. Wherever there's chaos in Africa, you're gonna find the West. The West does not want a chaos-free Africa. The West wants Africa fucked up and screwed over. The West wants Africa confused. The West wants Africa run by people like that idiot in Kenya or that idiot in Rwanda, Paul Kagame. They don't want an independent Africa. They do not want more Ibrahim Traores. They do not. Because if Africa had dozens of Ibrahim Traores, they would not be able to carry out their plan for the region. What is their plan for the region? Is to continue to extract resources, continue to contribute to a brain drain. They want all the African people to come over here and get educated, get brainwashed, and then go back home and be ready to foment coups against the Ibrahim Traores of the continent. So the key thing right now for Africa and people in the diaspora is unity. Unity. Fuck all that white left bullshit they're talking about, okay? Fuck all their little bullshit ass issues. Fuck reformism. We are heirs. We are descendants. We are the blood of the richest continent on earth. The richest continent on earth. All of that is ours. Every African, every descendant of Africa. So it's essential that we pay attention and not let ourselves get distracted with bullshit. These white folks, they don't want us united. They want us chained to them. They want us involved in projects that waste our time and energy and distract us from the real affairs impacting our people. We do not belong to the West. Yes, I'm an American, but I do not belong to the West. Yes, I speak English, but I don't belong to the West. The West rejects us. It uses us, but we are never, ever fully part of this shit. When they get pissed at us, they always tell us, go back to Africa. So we have to know who and what exactly we are and who our friends and enemies are. We were too caught up on distractions. Football. Who's being auctioned off? Which slave got hurt this week on the football field? That's bullshit. We don't have time for it. We need to secure our shit because this whole fucking thing, you want to chain yourself to America? America maybe has 40, 50 good years left in it. That's within our lifetime. So what are we going to do?
To all African online platforms, on all social media, let's reach out to journalists, to media personalities, to young people to stand up and tell our story as it is. Again, saying it as it is.
Parts of Appalachia are aggressively American. If I recall correctly, all of Appalachia is American, is it not? Like, does some of it belong to Scotland? Does some of it belong to Canada?
Is a revolutionary act.
I'm joking.
It's a necessity. Without it, we will be lied about, we will be finished before even we start our revolutionary project.
I agree. Oh, he was on the Jimmy Dore show. Jesus Christ, Musa. Why does everybody flirt with those opportunists? That opportunist. Trying to get a communist to disavow murder and rape. Communists don't murder. We engage in struggle against our enemies. We do not rape. In a people's army, if you get caught doing rape, you get shot immediately. That's what happens. Idiots.
To kill and kill and kill.
Look, so this dude is just sitting on the fucking bench. He needs a bag of fucking seeds in his hand to feed the pigeons with.
Senator, do you still feel that Israel has the right to kill?
This dude would not have made it in the Cultural Revolution.
And kill and
look at this dude.
Kill people?
Paid by pro-Israel lobby $270,571.
You still think Israel has a right to defend itself still? When is enough, Senator?
I don't know why you're harassing me.
That's not harassing.
Oh my! This dude literally was getting into a fight with pilots on airplanes. He was aggressively arguing with the Sunrise kids. Now I have those exact same fucking shoes.
I mean, you're a senator.
That's fucking weird. I need to burn them now. I have those exact same shoes.
Senator, right?
I saw you coming and I assumed you were going to come over. And...
I mean, you work for the people, right? You're supposed to, you're in the...
Oh, sad little ogre. Poor sad boy.
These halls for the people.
I'm just sitting here on a bench.
Right. And my people are being slaughtered because of your votes and the money that you send to Israel and your...
This is how you know, like, all of that American politicians serve the people shit is crap. Like, you are supposed to be open to your constituents. You are supposed to be like, you're supposed to be like this. You're supposed to be on the ball. This lady is asking you questions, bro. This lady is asking you questions. She's asking you pointed questions. Why are you taking votes? Why are you enabling my people to be slaughtered? Those are valid questions. There is nothing wrong with asking those questions. It is entirely valid to ask why an American politician is engaging in activities that harm your people as a Palestinian, as a black person, as a Navajo person, as a human being. And this man sits on a fucking bench looking like a schlub and does not answer her. But this is supposed to be our servant of the people. In China, during the Cultural Revolution, the people would literally come get you. They would drag you the fuck out of your bed, put you up on a stage, and ask you questions. And if you did not answer them, you received the punishment, as you should. That's what we need in this country. People keep asking, how do we make change? How do we make change? Make these people fear us. Make these people fear us. That is how you, as a powerless person, get power. By making your enemies fear you. That's simply how it is. That's how human beings are wired.
Your complicity in genocide.
Look at him. It's very obvious that he's had a stroke. It's very obvious that he's had a stroke. But apparently, in the United States, he's still qualified to be a senator. We've had 90-year-old motherfuckers in there. We've had alcoholics, drug addicts, all types of other types of reprobates. Why not allow Fetterman to be in Congress? He can't do that much harm.
I have nothing to say about that. Over 100,000 Palestinians have been slaughtered. How do you sleep at night, Senator? Seriously, how do you sleep at night? Do you not see the videos and the just the children that are being slaughtered out there?
I don't have anything to say.
You don't have anything to say? Of course not.
You don't have anything to say.
I'm just sitting on a bench.
Because AIPAC pays you way too much money to say anything, to be a human being.
He's not a human being. He's an ogre.
Yeah. What a shame. What a shame. You do not deserve the position that you have at all. Shame on you.
He really doesn't. Like, he really doesn't. Even by American politician standards, this dude is garbage tier. He does absolutely nothing. Like, this dude talks more about Israel than he talks about Pennsylvania. He's no fucking good. Even by American politician standards, he's not qualified. He sucks. It has long been recognized the white working class in the U.S. is historically incapable of participating, as a class, in anti-imperialist struggle. White racism in America's leading role in world imperialism transformed organized labor in the United States into a reactionary force. It's the truth. No matter how much you disagree with it, it's the truth. If you don't like the truth, change it. I'm Black Red Guard.